Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is our Monday Mastermind, noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. I think sometimes we even have people from other countries logging in, which is pretty cool. The beauty of the internet, right? We can all learn and grow from each other. This is, this is our Realtor Mastermind, Grow Global. Why do we call it Grow Global? Because we're realtors from all different backgrounds, all different experience levels. John, we're going to go ahead and mute everybody as they enter. Mute participants upon entry. Got it. And we'll mute everybody out there and get us a nice clean sound on there. So what we're looking to do is help you grow your business, grow your network, and grow your life. Look, we want to help you sell more houses, sell more real estate, have more free time, which ultimately means you'll have more fun. So we are looking forward to our group today. As we have people found in, I just want to show you some resources that we have for you. By the way, all this is free. That's my favorite word is the word free. We have a website, which is going to detail for you all the different events that we have going on. We got different coaching on there, our healthcare, all kinds of great stuff. But today on this mastermind, you're going to be hearing from some absolute amazing ladies that are absolutely killing it in real estate on lead generation. As we know, if you don't have leads, you're not going to have any money. But we also have a Facebook page. In there, we post all kinds of cool stuff. You can join that. Again, this is all free. And of course, we know you're a real estate agent. And sometimes you are going to be busy. You're going to miss out on the Monday events. And so we have whoops, hang on. Sorry. Let me hit the mute there. We have a YouTube page where we record everything. So you can check it out in there. And we have over like 56 videos now. Been doing this for a little over a year. And you can go back. There's an entire library of experts on there that are giving away all their top secrets for you. We also have an Instagram page, all this great stuff for you, these resources for you to grow your business. So that's going to be great. And you're going to love getting in there and getting to that. And it's a searchable page in there. You can search on that. So without further ado, though, we want to get started. Let's get going. We want to respect your time. Show up on time, right? Get here, and we're going to get you out of here on time. So we've got three ladies. We're actually going to start with Tracy Wiggins. Now, Tracy's a superstar out of the Atlanta area. She'll tell you a little bit about her story, but she's going to talk to you a little bit about her favorite lead gen sources that you're going to be able to look. You're going to be able to do some R&D today. Do you know what R&D stands for? It stands for rob and duplicate. So go ahead and get a pen and paper out. We're also going to be recording it, but take a listen to Tracy. She's going to unmute herself, and she's going to tell you her favorite lead gen items. And if you have a question, you can either throw it in the chat box and we'll read it, or if you want to be brave and raise your little hand here on the Zoom, we'll have you question Tracy yourself. So Tracy, Boss Move Wiggins, take it away. Let's hear some good lead gen sources.
Let's roll. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are chiming in from. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to speak about some things that have been working for me. And so I want to be conscious of your time as well. I have some notes here I'm going to go through really quickly. So like he said, rob and duplicate, rob and doggone duplicate. I think my first source of lead generation is referrals, guys. I mean, like, good business is going to always breed good business. And so I hope that you guys are out there doing some good business, and don't be afraid to ask your clients, your past clients, or even future clients, like, who do you know in your circle that is looking to buy, sell, downsize, upsize, anything. Just make sure you're looking for those referrals from your current circle of influence, your sphere of influence, rather. So that's the first place that I get my leads. The second place I get my leads, I absolutely love the Realty Store. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Realty Store. And if you have not, please allow me to introduce you to it, because they give me a free month. But the Realty Store is a system that charges only $25 per zip code. That's right. It's $25 per zip code. I find it to be the most economical way to get leads. And so they're going to give you 14 days free. And in those 14 days, they're going to give you the opportunity to choose 10 zip codes. Now, guys, please get your doggone 10 zip codes, okay? Write them down. If I were you, I would probably get a notebook out and write down about 20 to 25 zip codes that I would like to work in, or I'm open to work in. For me, I do Tennessee and Georgia. And so I bought 5 zip codes in Georgia and 5 zip codes in Tennessee. And I just work both of them evenly. But they're going to give you those 14 days for free. So again, inbox me. I'm going to put my information in the chat, and I will make sure I get you connected with my girl who can connect you with the Realty Store. But when you get your zip code, so the first 14 days are free. please use those 10 zip codes. Get those 10 zip codes. Go through your group, your list of zip codes, and they may even try to get you off the phone and just kind of help you with 2 or 3 of them. And they'll say, well, hey, you can fill the rest of them in yourself. I suggest that you not do that. Go ahead and keep them on the phone until you find your 10 zip codes. When you find your 10 zip codes, you want to make sure that you are in positions 1 or 2. Because positions 1 or 2, and I think there's 5 positions that you can be in, but positions 1 or 2 are going to get you the most leads. If you're not in positions 1 or 2 of your choice zip codes, I suggest just letting that zip code go. Because if you're going to be 3 through 5, you're probably not going to get many leads, and you're going to be the first one to say the Realty Store does not work. Realty Store has been one of my best sources of leads, for sure. So positions 1 or 2, and don't be afraid also to go for some zip codes out of your state. For instance, if you're in a small city and there's not a lot going on, but you have a good friend in Atlanta like me, or a good friend in Tennessee or somewhere, and you know that that particular realtor is going to give that person good service, then don't be afraid to grab a zip code in those areas, because again, that's easy referral money for you. And then once you start really getting this thing rolling, you want to make sure that you're using your KV Core lead Dropbox. So if you guys are not familiar with the KV Core lead Dropbox, go to KV Core, I guess, kind of put it in there and do your research on it. And because I don't have time to teach you that, but basically it's where you're going to get this email, because the way Realty Store sends your leads, they're going to come to you through email. And it's going to say you've got a lead. And so you can take that email with your lead information, but you use that lead Dropbox email that KV Core is going to give you, and that will drop them right into your KV Core CRM. That works really perfectly for me. Absolutely love the Realty Store. The next place that I get my leads are just organic connections. I really believe in going to the networking events all throughout your city. Be sure you're tuned into Eventbrite. I'm telling you, if you go into Eventbrite right now, something is going on in your city tonight, for sure. And what you want to do, you want to go to these events. And I know it's pretty hard because I've been to the networking events. And when I was a little bit nervous as a new agent or just a new salesperson in general, I'm walking around with my little drink and it's just kind of hard to open up that conversation. And then I really got mad at myself, and mad stands motivated and determined. And so I said, you know what, why am I here every time and I'm not meeting people? Like, I'm just sipping on my drink, afraid to say something to someone. So just make it your business to walk up to someone. And, we've always been taught, I'm a Mary Kay girl. Back in the day, I used to sell Mary Kay, and she taught us to picture someone having a sign on themselves saying, make me feel important. And so you make people feel important by letting them introduce themselves. And so what you should probably do is walk up to them and say, hey, we're here to meet each other. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What brings you to the networking event? And let them open the conversation up about them first. And then, of course, you'll lead in and tell them about you and what you do, and hope for some connections there. Be sure that you also have your digital card of some sort. I use Hi Hello. A lot of people use different types of digital cards, but that's the way to go now. You have your QR code that people can scan, and you make sure you get their information back and actually do that follow-up. But those networking events, be sure you're paying attention to Eventbrite. Join as many groups on Facebook as you can that will allow you to advertise and be a top contributor to those groups. So oftentimes we join these groups, so we don't, we want to drop our little ad off, but what about seeing what someone else just dropped, and go ahead and say something about their ad and add other things of value. Maybe it's a motivational statement or a picture of something motivational, and it makes you a top contributor in the group. And so people want to lean more toward you, because it's not always all about you, it's about them too. And I'm telling you, once those people start to like you, because that's what we're in the business of, we're in the business of selling ourselves. When they like you, they're going to do business with you. And don't forget Workplace. Oh my God, I get a lot of leads from Workplace. If you guys are not chimed into Workplace, all the different groups that are in there that are in your city, in opposite cities, and of course, groups that you have certain interest in, be sure you're in those groups. If you're a single mom, single dad, there's all types of groups out there that you want to join and be a part of. The Workplace is a true gem. Also, when you go to these events, like I work 2 markets. So I have a Selling Atlanta t-shirt, and I also have a Selling Nashville t-shirt. So when I go to Atlanta events, I'm wearing my Selling Nashville t-shirt. And when I go to Nashville events, I'm wearing my Selling Atlanta t-shirt, because, sometimes, you think that maybe it's not advantageous to be at these events as a realtor, because sometimes these events are real estate events, so it's all realtors. But making those connections with other realtors make for good deals, good contract conversations. Maybe they'll even choose you because they met you at the networking event and you seemed pretty cool. You had a great vibe, and they may choose your offer over someone else because you were the one that made that connection. But I wear those t-shirts so that way it also is an icebreaker. It opens up a conversation. Oh, so you sell in Nashville. Oh, you sell in Atlanta. And so that's a way to also get your referrals going. And lastly, take advantage of
Hey,
your
Tracy, I thought we saw you on Selling Sunset on there. You're wearing that shirt.
hey, I'm on my way to HGTV, so hey, let's do it. I'll take that too. And lastly, back to school is coming up, guys. I hope you're taking advantage of adopting a school in your area. I did lunch. I did a teacher's lunch at Riverdale High School in Atlanta, Georgia. And I fed the teachers. It cost me about $800, true enough. But I ended up getting one teacher that let me sell her house and help her buy another one. So guys, from an $800 donation or blessing or a tax write-off, if you would, I ended up making over 20,000. And so even if you get just one person, it's going to be so worth it. This year, I'm not necessarily doing the luncheon, but I am doing what we call a teacher survival kit. And I'm going to drop this in our group, in the Grow Global group. So make sure you are on that group on Facebook. But it looks like this. Let's see if I can get it on my screen. Is it going to come up? No, because of my background. Dang. So it's a cute little postcard, and it has teacher survival kit on it. Basically, it's going to be a little bag of different candies that you're going to give to the teacher. And of course, your information stuff is going to be on there. I have about 200 teachers at Overton High School in Nashville. I'm going to do Riverdale High School again because they know me already. So I want to adopt that school, that get them used to me being the school realtor. But it says on the teacher survivor kits, lifesavers. I'm putting those in there. And it says to remind you all the times you've been one. Gum to help you through the sticky situations. Kit Kats to remind you to take a hard-earned break. Starburst for the burst of energy you're going to need. Snickers to remind you to always keep your humor, and kisses to show you all the love you deserve. Let's have a great school year. And so in that little bag, yeah, isn't that amazing? So I love that. My daughter gave me that idea because she's a principal at John Overton High School in Nashville. And so I'm going to run with that. And I also remember doing a trunk or treat for the schools where I got several realtors together. We're EXP. We should really, gel together. And I think we had about 10 EXP agents here in Georgia. We decorated our trunks. We chose a school here and we did trunk or treat for the kids. The principal was totally excited about it. And then of course, we made sure all our information went into the school teachers' mailboxes to make sure that we have some way to get something back from them. And even if you didn't give anything back, remember all your efforts are seen by God himself, right? So you may sow in the east and your blessing could certainly come from the west. But the point is that you gave that seed out, you put it out there. And I just think exposure is everything. And I think that once people begin to see your name on a regular basis, try to be consistent with this, you're going to go to the next level in your business. So I hope that helped you all. That's all I have as far as my lead generation strategies and things that have certainly worked for me.
Tracy, I love it. I'm going to come down there when you're doing trunk or treat. I'm going to get myself some candy too. I love that. I love that idea of adopting a school. That is so smart, Tracy, because you're in the community. Because a lot of times real estate agents, we get that reputation of just being, money grubbing, commission breath salespeople, right? But you're in there helping those teachers and those kids. I love that. That's great. What a great idea.
Appreciation goes a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great stuff. And
Mhm.
who doesn't like helping out kids, right? So it's good
Right.
stuff. And the leftover candy could end up at your house. So that's perfect. I love it. That's great. Oh, Taisha says, how do you go about adopting a school? Who'd you contact to adopt the school? How'd you do that, Tracy? You didn't just show up, right?
Well, so most of us know a teacher somewhere. If you don't know a teacher, then you need to get to know a teacher. So Riverdale High School, I went in through one of my clients. I sold her a beautiful home in Fayetteville, Georgia. I said, hey, what school do you work at? I said, well, can you get me in? So sometimes I go in through a teacher, but it's not a bad idea to call the school principal. I'm telling you, there is not one principal that's going to turn down your giving a blessing or blessing their teachers with some type of cute little trinket or something that's going to give them something that shows appreciation. So if I didn't know a teacher, I would certainly call the school. Right now, they're going back to school. I know in Nashville, they're going back June 29th or so. in Atlanta, the 27th or so of July, and they're there just by themselves right now, the teachers. What better time? The teacher, I'm telling you, the school will let you walk all the way through the school and just go room to room to room, because you are giving something to their teachers who do not always get the appreciation that they deserve. So yes, Ty, you should go through the school principal or go through a teacher. They'll get you in there.
Great question, Taisha. Great question. And we had a question earlier. I think you answered it. What was the name of that program that you said at the beginning? The real estate store? Is that what you said it was?
So the Realty Store, I'm going to put
Realty store.
Realty Store. I'm going to put my number in there because, again, if I refer them, they give me a free month.
Yeah, will you put it in the chat box so people get a hold of you, Tracy?
But if you can't get to me, then of course, just go ahead and join it. But I'm gonna I'm gonna put it in the chat box.
Now you're dropping help bombs here. So why not? People help you out too. So that's a good deal on that. So thanks a lot, Tracy. That's great. If you have questions for Tracy later that comes to your head, just go ahead and throw it in the chat box. We're gonna go next to Laura from Chicago. Laura is an absolute champion, just like Tracy out of Atlanta. Laura's crushing it in Chicago, and she has some great information for you here on how to generate leads. Take it away, Laura.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Yep, been around for a little bit, started in the mid 80s, so I'm a little bit old fashioned. Most of my lead gen is working by referral. So I work with my database. If I thought about it and I thought, well, the challenge might be some people might not have a big database. So I'm going to preface all this with saying you're going to need to grow your database at some way, and I'll give some ideas on that. But let's just say that you have a database, whether it's 30 people or 50 people, 100, 1,000, however many it is. Working your database is absolutely where it's at. I've been following Brian Buffini for about 25 years. If you're not familiar with Brian Buffini, I highly recommend you look him up. He's a great real estate coach. As soon as I heard him speak 25 years plus ago, I knew that he was the type of person I wanted to follow. His whole ideas are notes, calls, and Popeyes. So I still do all of them because it's just basically getting in front of your clients somehow to remind them that you are a realtor. You know, we've all heard that stat when they go out there on the street and they ask people, you know, oh, have you bought a house? Yes, I have. Did you have a good experience? Yes, I did. Did you like your realtor? Yes, I did. Well, what's your realtor's name? And most of them can't remember their realtor's name because we sell them a house or we list their house and then we forget to follow up with them. And they want to work with us and they want to give us referrals. But unless we're keeping in touch with them, they forget. They are not staying up at night thinking, I wonder how I could give Laura a lead. They're not thinking like that. So I have to be in front of them. So a lot of different ways that I do it. And I'm also going to preface this with saying everything I'm teaching you, I don't do it all consistently. I don't want you to think, oh, she's so organized. She does all this stuff. I wish that I did because I'd be making even more money, but I fall off the wagon like everybody else. And to say that 95% of my business is still repeat and referral. So even though I fall off the wagon, I don't follow through on everything that I intend to do, I'm still in touch with them somehow. And I'm going to give you different ideas. So with all of that being said, I'm still getting 95% of my business from repeat and referral. So imagine if I was really stepping it up and I'm actually getting ready to hire to help me, then how much more would I be doing? But just like Tracy had said, you know, it's a blessing to be in front of your clients. It's a blessing to remember them. Social media is a big one. I follow my clients on Facebook because then I see what's going on in their world. I see that their son just won some baseball tournament, so I know that that's an interest for them. So if I hear about something baseball related, I might send them a quick note. Hey, did Joey see this, you know, players coming in town or whatever it is? I don't know. But I want to know what their likes are. I want to know what their family's doing. I want to know what's important to them. Did they have a baby? Did they just lose somebody? Did somebody retire? You know, all these life events are going to cause them to potentially want to move. But more importantly, I want to get to their friends and family. I want to be in front of them too. So when I'm commenting on their posts, their friends and family are seeing me also. Because I tell my clients all the time, hey, they're like, yeah, Laura, we're not moving. And I say, hey, don't worry about it. I know I sold you a great house and I want you to stay there. But what about your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, you know, anyone else thinking about moving right now? I'd love to help them too. And that's quite often what's happening. My clients do seem to stay in their houses a long time for some reason. But a lot of their kids are buying houses from me, or their parents are downsizing, or they passed away or something, and I have to sell their house, which is 3 of my listings right now are parents that have passed away and I'm selling their houses. So just really staying in touch with them. So social media is one way. The system I use, like Tracy mentioned, is KV Core. You may have a different CRM. The best CRM is the one that you're using. So be on your CRM, send things out. You can send out just listed, just solds. You could send out a calendar of haunted houses to go to, or baseball schedules, or whatever it is. Just the whole idea is to be in front of them. Another thing that I'm working on doing right now is doing small events. Instead of doing these big client appreciation parties, which take a lot of money, time, and effort, and you don't really get to talk to everyone, what I'm really starting to work on is doing small events. So maybe taking 7 ladies for margaritas and manicures. And then maybe, a happy hour with 5 couples or something like that. Just those small events so that I can talk to them more. I can get to know them better. They can meet each other. I've had that happen where they start networking and they all of a sudden know the same person. And then they're talking about babysitters or schools or whatever it is. And then they all start to get to know each other. So I think the small events are nice. They're easy to do. You can throw them together pretty quickly. They're affordable. And it definitely gives you a chance for them to get to know you and you to get to know them. So I think that's a really great way. And you absolutely are going to get referrals from doing a small event. It costs you a couple $100s to do, give them a couple drinks and a couple appetizers at a local brewery or something. And it's very easy to throw together. There's so many, gosh, I could go on forever about lead gen ideas. I have paid for some. I don't do Zillow or anything like that, but I have paid for, there's a company called ZBuyer you can look up. And ZBuyer has been a fairly good lead gen source. I went with their lowest package, which was $150. And then you get 15, I think it's 15 or 10 or 15 targeted leads. And then they also give you old kind of orphan leads. So I have about 800 in that pipeline. And they're usually your typical internet leads. They're not ready to buy for 12, 18, 24 months, but some of them are getting that old right now. So that is something I'm having someone else, I'm going to hire out and have someone else do some really targeted follow-up with them through my KV Core system and see if I can get anybody there, any gold nuggets out of that. So I think that if you do buy any lead gen, you have to understand that the majority of the time it's going to be a long follow-up. And I think that's where we all fall off because there's only so many hours in the day, and we have to get out there and we have to do listing appointments. We have to show houses. We have to write contracts. We have to do buyer presentations and everything else that we have to do. And there's just so many hours in the day. And I think that's the biggest challenge for all of us. I'm very real. I tell it like it is. I don't pull any punches, and trying to keep up with it all is very difficult, I'm sure. And everyone can appreciate that. But if you just stay in touch with people a little bit, just be in front of them a little bit, you'll be amazed at how the referrals come in. But you also have to ask. So Brian Buffini has his old saying, it's kind of the Columbo approach, where you're having a conversation with them. Oh, yeah, great. Oh, so he won the baseball tournament. Oh, great. Oh, I'm so happy you guys are doing good. Oh, you're taking a vacation. Okay, that's great. Okay, well, it's so great to catch up with you. Let's talk again soon. We'll keep in touch. If you guys need anything, I'm here for you. Okay, great. Oh, hey, by the way, if you know of anyone that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate right now, I would love to help them. Please remember me. And the best way to give me a referral is to call me with their name and number, and I'll follow up with them. Because if you give them my name and number, they're going to lose it, I'll tell you. So if you know of anybody that's thinking about moving, please call me with their name and number. I'll be happy to follow up with them for you. Okay, great. Thank you. Goodbye. It's a very soft sell approach. People feel really funny about asking for referrals. I think they feel like they're sounding too salesy. That's not salesy at all. It's the old Columbo, oh, by the way, approach of, oh, hey, I forgot. You know anyone that's moving? That type of thing. And it works extremely well. And people will laugh. And sometimes they'll even start to say to me, yep, I know, Laura. I'm going to call you with them. And I'll tell you what, though, asking for the referral in that way is extremely important, because I tell people, please do not give out my business card. And they say, well, why? And I say, because someone's going to lose it. I have business cards on my desk right now. I can't remember who this is. I try to write notes when I meet people so it reminds me of who they are, but people don't do that. And we all have stacks of business cards, and I go, I don't know who this is, and I throw it in the garbage. And that's what happens. So I think asking for a referral the right way is really going to help you increase your odds of actually getting those referrals. So I think that's really a key spot that I would take a note on that one and start practicing it yourself. I do subscribe to homes.com right now as a premier agent, and it's costing me $500 a month. So it's a little pricey, and I'm not really getting much in the way of leads on it right now. But what it is doing for me is it's kind of a listing help to get listings, because I tell people, hey, my town is Homer Glen where I live, and I have a piece of vacant land for sale in Homer Glen right now. So if I'm talking to someone in Homer Glen and I say, hey, let's go to homes.com, and we pull up homes.com, I know I'm the first agent showing up because I'm a premier agent. So there's my photo, there's my listing. My listings went from 14,000-ish views after had been on homes.com for, I think, about 8 months. I think I had about 14,000 views, to now I've been a premier member since, I think, February. I've got over 2 million views on that. Now, has it helped me sell it? Not yet. Has it gotten me leads? Not a lot. However, I think it's helping when they say at a listing appointment, well, what are you going to do differently? You know, everyone's doing the same thing. Okay, well, this is one thing I'm going to do differently. And then I talk about the site. They're doing a lot of advertising and marketing. They're trying to become a premier real estate search engine. They're trying to put Zillow out, a business, but they've really got some great neighborhood information there. So if you check it out, if you want to learn about schools, they'll take you like a YouTube, like a zoom in on the schools and the football fields and the parks and the grocery stores and the coffee shops. And they give you a lot of good community information. Myself and my husband were, going to move somewhere warm for the winter. We're not staying in, we're chilly Illinois. So we're definitely going somewhere warm. So it's a way for me, myself, to start looking at other areas, other states, other communities, so I can learn about them. So that's just a little homes.com plug. Not that I'm trying to plug them, but anyway. But basically that's about it. I mean, really, I totally work by referral. Very little of my business comes anywhere else. I do some open houses. I get some leads from them, but working by referral is just easier. When people call you up and they say, hey, Joe told me to give you a call, I want to sell my house. There's nothing better than that. You go in and it's a slam dunk, and you're not struggling. I don't know about anywhere else, but we're fighting commissions right now pretty hard. And that's been a struggle for us here. But when you come in as a referred agent, you don't struggle with commissions at all. So
I love that, Laura. Keith Jackson says great info, and he definitely appreciates the transparency. I think we all do. Some of us always think, oh, these superstar performers, they've got it all together all the time. And you're burning the candle at both ends, running with your hair on fire sometimes. So love to hear that. Tracy says, she says exposure is everything and referrals are the best. Good business breeds good business. She loved your information you had on there. So awesome, Laura. We appreciate that. If anybody comes up with questions, by the way, through this, you can either raise your little hand on the Zoom thing, or you can put your questions down in the chat box. And next, so we went from Atlanta, the big city of Atlanta, to the big city of Chicago. Now we're going to the farm town of Columbus, Ohio. And we've got Stacey Lambright is going to tell you about some of her best lead generation sources.
Hello. So I want to say thank you to Tracy and Laura. I was making notes, and I have some Q&A questions for both of you once we're ready for it. I'm going to mirror a lot of what they said. I have, you see my, I'm gonna post my notes, but my big 100% for Sphere. I'm going to dig into it a little bit. Social media, obviously. But with the social media, you have to be on purpose. You have to announce, you have to remind. And I think we talked about this with Tracy and talking about, you have to ask for business. And I think too, though, when you're asking for business, I have a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning that you want to be authentic. I have a personal page and I have a business page. My business page is all business. That is where we post, thank you to our buyer, our closing, our walkthroughs. We do everything over there. But on your personal page, be authentic, meaning that I have a note to be an attractor. Would you want to work with you? You want to be positive. There's a lot going on right now, both in the real estate world with the NAR changes and stuff like that, and the real estate markets, but also political. Be positive on your personal page. Attract people that want, that you got to be up good energy where they want to work with you, and be on purpose in your local market when you're out and about. one of the things that we like to do is talk to your local, like go and make an interview and do a TikTok, do something like that. I don't do TikTok. I will tell you, I'm not there yet. But talk to your local, the bakeries, the cafes, and then a really big hint that we heard. This is utilizing your social media. This is one bullet point, but just being on purpose with it. Take a look at like the local places. See who has really big followings. Because if you call the owner or the general manager and just say, and let's say they have 1,000, 100,000 followers, whatever it is, if they allow you to come in and do a really quick interview, a really quick breeze through, when you tag them, if you talk nice about them, they're gonna repost your social media clip, and all of their 100,000 followers are gonna see it. So be on purpose with who you're doing. Be a local expert. Be out and about. Be positive. I will say, don't do political stuff. My husband does not listen to me with that. But I say stay away from the political stuff.
I volunteered to fight and die for this country. I'm allowed to speak out. Sorry.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree with what Laura said, because one of the things is that when you sell people a house, and this is majority of our sphere has our repeat and referral clients in it, they're going to sell and move a house once, every 5 to 7 years. But ask that question: who do you know? Who do you know that's thinking about buying, selling, investing in real estate? And then find your 10 super fans. And by this, I mean, and I take this from Jim, and Jim probably took it from somebody else, but it's really true. If you can find 10 people that know you and trust you and like you, and when they hear anybody, whether it's the grocery store or whatever, talking about real estate, your name just rolls out of their mouth. If you can find 10 people that can do that for you, your super fans, the referrals will be crazy. I'm going to we have a brand new agent named Adam. He literally has been licensed probably Jim, 3 or 4 weeks, if that. He's a security officer at a library. The librarian likes him. She knows, likes, and trusts him. She has literally sent him. He is in the car and working like 4 or 5 buyers already, where she has referred him. So find those super fans, and then network by doing what you love. And networking can be in person. It can be back to your social media. Obviously, Tracy talked about the network that's business related and stuff like that. But network in the stuff that you love, because when you are authentic and your passion comes through, whether that, like for us, that's going to be animals, that's going to be veterans, me as bourbon. I have immersed myself into the nonprofit world, the bourbon world. And I tell you what, with them just knowing me and trusting me, I've gotten so much business off of that. So immerse yourself. Don't be afraid to talk about real estate. That goes back to kind of being like I said, being the local person that knows everything, whether that's about real estate, trending. As we know, real estate's hyper local. So immerse yourself in what you like. Volunteer. Don't expect anything back. Tracy talked about that. Nonprofits, be out there, give back in the community. It will come back to you. Create referral groups. If you're not doing this, and by that, I mean, I'm going to tell you about one. We've got a couple already working, and I can tell you one of my most successful referral groups that we created was 6 transactions just last year. And by that, I mean, find someone obviously not in your market. It can be in your state, outside of your state. And when you guys form this group, watch out for each other. When you see a referral on Facebook or a marketplace, anywhere, if your referral group edifies you and connects you, and you guys do that for each other, that's a huge sphere. And if you put it together, that you're just run the group. That's my best advice, I guess I would say. We just started a national one, and that's one of the tips. I was definitely create some referral groups, referral groups within your brokerage. And then 2, update your profiles. And I'm going to use Jim as an example on this. Inside your profiles, whether it's Facebook, you're with your brokerage, inside these referral groups that we talked about, when you update your profile with what you're passionate about, Jim's has animals in it and has veterans. We're in a Chase referral group, and literally, I probably say half of our referrals come via Jim, who doesn't even sell, but his profile in there talks about those 2 things. And people have said, I chose him because I'm also a veteran. I chose him because I'm an animal lover. So update your profiles, make sure you're authentic and it reflects you. Take all the designations through your broker if they offer them. That is going to be your REO, your Relo, your iBuyer. If they don't offer designations, like right now, we all know that the change is happening with all this crazy stuff, but I don't know if you know this, but the National Association of Realtor is actually offering free through the end of the year, the ABR, which is the Accredited Buyer Representation Designation. With the changes coming, you have to learn to create value. You've got to create value for yourself. So definitely go in, get the designations. That's something you can talk about. Again, making yourself the expert. Some of the other places that you can connect with is Chase, PennyMac, OpCity, Rocket Mortgage. All of them have realtor programs. You have to do a little bit of work, get designation, get signed up with them. But definitely do all of that. And I hear a lot about, well, they charge a 40% referral fee, or they charge a whatever referral fee. It doesn't matter. Reason being is take all the leads, take all the referrals, because they will turn into more business. I can't tell you over the last 5 years how many referrals I took and paid a hefty referral fee, and sometimes even on a small price, that have turned into secondary business already, where they've sold, bought, they sent me their cousin, they sent me their mom. So take all the deals right now. That needs to be your mindset right now. I've got affiliated partners, your title companies, your lenders, your home warranty. Not only should you be asking for business from them, but start to do like home buying seminars. I'm seeing those pop back up again, where you can pick a farm and they can take a majority of the cost. So that was one of my things. Open houses. I think Laura touched on that. We do an open house every weekend. Jim and I are each in an open house on Saturday and Sunday. We pull business out of that. Not only is it putting us forefront for our sellers as far as what we're doing for them, but definitely do an open house. If you don't have listings, talk to people within your brokerage. The new build reps here allow you to do open houses. And then just back to the basics. It's kind of funny because whenever we have a shifting market, everyone pauses just to see what's happening. But if you just go back to the basics, door knocking, cold calling, all of it. We were literally watching a show last night, and I'm sure you guys might have seen it. It's a new reality one where it's in like Manhattan and stuff like that. But she literally chose to start door knocking on an area that is like $1 million listings, and pulled out a listing. And it made me think, because literally Jim and I, we are having a record year this year, but our mindset is we're working 100% more right now than we did last year. So definitely mindset, go back to the basics. Yeah, that's what I had.
Love it. Great stuff. You got a fan club there. John says this is fantastic. Tracy says she's glad to be part of your group.
Yeah.
And Brian Conrad agreed with what you were saying too. And also ABR, looks like Tracy got hers for free through her broker, and HomeLight too. So that's great stuff on it. Look, lead gen, the best lead gen system here, I'm going to tell you right now. So get ready to write this one down, everybody. Get your pen out, get your paper. I'm going to give you the best lead gen system there is. And that is the one that you use consistently over time. Whichever one it is, consistent over time. Here's the problem. We're such a microwave society right now that we want things now. And that's not the case on how it works when lead generating. We always teach our group this. The sales are 90 to 120 days downstream of the lead generation you do today. What you do today is going to get you paid in October, November, probably November, December. Today, the lead gen you do today, and we get off this call, is going to get you paid in November, December. So we forget that and we think, oh man, this isn't working, and we give up too easily. So that's what you've got to remember on that. Now, there are two types of lead gen. There is active lead generation and passive lead generation. Here's the thing. We all love passive lead generation because passive lead generation doesn't come with any rejection. I'll give you some ideas of passive lead generation. Posting on social media. Posting on social media. Is it something you must do? Absolutely. You should be doing it multiple times a day across all platforms. However, it is not going to get you business fast enough for you to stay alive. Active lead generation is what's going to do that to keep the cash flow coming in. But do you have to do the passive? Yes. So do all the postings, all the things on all the social medias, doing all of that, but that's passive. You cannot count that today as your lead generation activities for today. Does it have to get done? Yes, but it is not all of what you have to do. You have to do active lead generation. Here's how you know if it's active lead generation. Did I reach out to a specific person? Not a group of people, one person individually. That is active lead generation. If you didn't do that today, you did not do your job as a real estate agent, unless you have so many closings going on that you don't need any more business, okay? So let's talk about what some active examples are. Active examples, I heard it earlier, open houses, right? I would add one word to the word open houses. Effective open houses. Open houses are a huge waste of time unless you're doing it effectively. I'm not teaching an open house class right now, but let me tell you something. You can get a lot of business out of it. Stacey and I have been selling houses 27 years, since 97, and we still get business from it. Do we need to do open houses? No. But they're such a good source of leads. We feel guilty when we're not sitting in one doing it because they're that good. If you do them effectively, learn how to do an effective open house. Stacey also mentioned the super fan theory. I'm going to go in 60 seconds here to explain what that is. That is an active reach out on Facebook Messenger. By the way, this is taught by Krista Mayshore. If you ever want to buy her course, she's amazing. You reach out actively on Facebook Messenger, specifically Facebook Messenger, and you send your person a video. And the best way to do it is a birthday video. Now, none of us like the way we look on camera, all that kind of stuff. You got to get past that. Krista taught this. She goes, look, if they don't like the way you look on video, they're not going to like the way you look in person. So just get over it. You might as well just get it out of the way right now and do it. And you send them a happy birthday video. And then the engagement afterwards from there, as to whether or not they engage with you, is whether or not they're going to end up being a super fan. And you have to deposit into the relationship bank account before you ask for something. I heard Laura say earlier, sometimes it's kind of uncomfortable asking for a referral. That's because you haven't developed the relationship enough if you feel uncomfortable. You should be giving, and then the ask. You deposit it into the account. Now you can make a withdrawal. So that's the super fan theory. There's a whole 3-day course on how to learn how to do that, but that's the gist of it. You should be reaching out every day to people, especially on your Facebook. Now, your social medias, you should be growing those groups as big as possible. Your Facebook, you should be striving to get to 5,000 friends as soon as possible. Now, some of you are going, I don't have 5,000 friends. That's good, because Facebook for realtors is not for your friends. Facebook is, who would I like to sell a house to? I want you to think of that as, would I like to sell a house to this person? Yes, then friend them up, okay? And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building 3 pillars. This comes from Gary Vaynerchuk, by the way, Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. If you're offended by the F-bomb, don't follow him, because every other word, he's a New York Russian. He drops an F-bomb every other word. But you have to build 3 pillars of your personality that are broad enough that are going to attract people. How are people going to connect with you? The average person knows 16 realtors by first name. How are they going to connect with you? Stacey mentioned ours earlier. Mine is, I'm a military veteran. I connect with people based on military and patriotism towards the country. We're big into animal rescue. We love animals. Specifically, I'm the raccoon guy now, apparently, with millions of views on social media for raccoons, but it's exposure, right? And then the other thing is, here in Columbus, Ohio, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're big. We do the local sports team because it's huge here. But those are our 3 things. It's a broad enough appeal. We appeal to everybody. You have to find yours. Don't copy someone else's. Figure out what yours is. What is your thing that you connect with? Maybe you're an awesome chess player. There is a group of people that will be drawn to you, your tribe of chess people that will be loyal to you. I can tell you, in the animal rescue world, those people are loyal. They bring us people because of what we do in the animal rescue world. They bring us people, say, you got to go with Jim and Stacey. They do so much for the animal things. I was a speaker for the Humane Society of the United States and stuff like that. That kind of stuff works, right? But we're authentic. We really do love rescuing animals. We're not faking it to sell houses. Hopefully, didn't beat that to death like Stacey will say. You beat that to death. The other thing is, get involved in a charity, your church or some other charity. Stacey mentioned we were having our biggest year ever. In fact, we had our biggest May we've ever had, and June was even bigger than the month of May. And here's why it happened. I'm convinced of this. Because for 10 weeks prior to that, we were pounding our network, raising money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. We didn't mention a thing about real estate, nothing. All we did was pound our network, raising this money for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And Stacey and her group of ladies raised over 300 grand for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Stacey did 51,000 herself with her group of people. Now, all of that contacting our network, raising money, took us away, like Tracy talked about. We stopped, who Tracy does Adopt a School. we stopped looking like money grubbing realtors and we started looking like we cared about the community, because we do. But people stopped seeing us as used car salesmen and saw us as humanitarians. And that it put us top of mind awareness with them. Like, oh yeah, Jim and Stacey are realtors. Hey, they're out here doing this stuff for the community. Why don't we contact them with business? It was our biggest months ever. And we weren't talking about real estate at all. We were talking about trying to stop blood cancer. And it's a great way to do it. So how do you do it? I mean, you guys are so busy. How do you do it? Here's 3 things, 3 tools you want to write down. Okay. Number 1, you need a mass texting app. If your CRM you're using doesn't have it already built in, you need one. Stacey and I use Constant Contact. Some other people can put in the chat what they use. There's MailChimp. There's all kinds of other ones. You have to have a mass emailing system that you can type one email with some pretty pictures of you and something going on and something informative, and then a call to action, and hit send. And if you can't do it, go to use AI to do it or hire a virtual assistant to do it. But you need to be sending that out. The response rate is what, 1 to 3%. But look, if it gets you 1 deal a month, boom, how great is that? The other thing you need to have is a mass texting campaign. You need to have some type of mass texting program. If your CRM doesn't do it for you, you need to have one. You can get it. We use Skipio, Skipio. Other people can put in their in the chat what they use, but it's you type one text or something like "Happy 4th of July, everyone," and it sends to everybody individually from your phone number. You just reached out to everybody in one touch. Okay. And it's touching your people about something other than just real estate. Remember those deposits I said you got to put into the relationship bank account? That's that. And the third one is this. I'm surprised how many people have never heard of this, but it's called voicemail drops. If you don't know what a voicemail drop is, it's this. You can record one 30-second voicemail. Your voice, it's you coming from your phone number, and you can download whatever phone numbers you want to send it to. Let's say you want to send it to 1,000 phone numbers, put a credit card behind it. You send one voicemail directly to their voicemail. It doesn't even ring their phone. Right into their voicemail, boom, a message from you, a private message, hopefully saying something nice. We just had 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy celebrating our country's independence, whatever you want to say, right? There's one holiday every single month that'll give you something to talk about in there. Of course, we're coming up to Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all of that. You're sending an individual message to them. And when you send it, don't say, "Hey guys, just wanted to wish you a happy Christmas." No, you want to act like you're talking to that person, but without personalizing it, right? So you're talking to one individual when you do that. Those 3 tools right there will give you more business from your sphere of influence than you know what to do with, and it will build the relationship between your clients, because they're seeing you on their emails, they're seeing you on their text, they're hearing your voice, and that is going to help you with that. So here's what I'm going to leave you with, and we're going to go to some rapid fire Q&A with our 3 panelists, and that's this. Write these down. Your lead generation has to be intentional. Write that word down. It has to be intentional. You have to have an intentional plan. It has to be time blocked. If you don't time block it out, you'll push it off till tomorrow. And just say this: when you don't do your lead gen today, just say 120 days from now, I don't want to get paid for that day. Because it's that far down the line before you're going to get paid for what you do today. That's why it's so easy to skip, because the work you do today, you're not getting paid for today. You're not getting paid for 120 days down the line at least, right? So it has to be intentional. It has to be time blocked. You have to have a system. It has to be systematized. I don't care what system you use. You just have to have one that you're following, and you follow it, okay? From there, you have to be consistent. You got to give it time, man. You got to give it time. The super fan theory that we use may not get you paid for 2 years, but if it's a $20,000 check, was a video once a year, you send out to the person worth the 20 grand, right? And some other communications while you're having a Chardonnay, typing on the internet while you got your favorite TV show, Selling Sunset, with starring Tracy Boss Moves Wiggins there in the Selling Sunset. You got to be consistent, and then tracking. You've got to track it so you know what's working and what doesn't when you're giving it time. So that's it. Intentional, time block, systematic, consistent, and you got to be tracking it. All right, let's bring our 3 panelists on here. We're going to unmute them. We're going to go with some rapid fire questions I have, and any that you guys might have here. All right, we'll go in the order that you guys talk. We'll go with Tracy. Oh, Tracy, you're going to love me because I'm going to hit you first right out of the gate. The other 2 will get a chance to think. But we're going to go Tracy, Laura, Stacey. So what CRM are you using, Tracy?
I use KV Core.
Laura, what are you using?
AV Core.
KV Core. And Stacey?
Chastity Miller. I mean, KV Core.
That's it. When you guys start making some money, you definitely want to get yourself in a system that's good on that. Okay. So this question you may have to estimate on here, but what percentage of your business is repeat and referral versus cold business that you're bringing in? Tracy, what's yours right now, your percentage? I know it's going to be a ballpark, but just an idea.
Yeah, I would think that 90% of my business comes from referrals.
And you've been in business how long?
I'm in my 7th year.
7th year. There you go. So that didn't happen in year 1. You didn't get repeat and referral business, right? Everybody was new back then.
Well, you know, I came from 30 years of doing hair, so I built a lot
Okay.
of
All right.
business. Yeah, so
You did get it for that was repeat business. That's
yeah,
great.
it was repeat
Crossover business.
Yeah,
Very
trust
good.
Mhm.
Laura, how about you? Repeat and referral business. What's your percentage?
Probably about 90%.
About 90%. Okay. And you've been in business how long?
39 years.
39 years. You started when you were 2? Oh my
I was
gosh.
4.
You were 4 when you started. Okay. You were 4 when you started. I love it. And Stacey, you're what's your repeat and referral?
So I don't want to skew the numbers because this has some impact here. In 2019, when we joined our brokerage, we did 9.8 million that year. Of that 9.8 million, probably 90% was repeat and referral. Last year we did just shy of 19 million, and as of this week, we're at 16 million. And so my numbers are skewed. There is a lot of repeat and referral in there. It's just the last 5 years I have utilized what's been available to us with our brokerage. So we have a lot of new business that we have pounded into the last 5 years that are now starting to turn into repeat referral business. So I would say it's about 60% repeat referral and 40% new from just the avenues we're using.
Beautiful. By signing up to everything that your broker offers, you're doing all of it.
Everything.
Even if they're taking, what if they're taking a 45% referral fee? You're still taking it.
I'm doing $150,000 deals at 55% referral.
55% referral because why?
They will turn into more business. They do. Because we work them. We turn them into our sphere. We take just everything we talked about today. If you make that person a friend and not a client and not a one-time transaction, it will turn into business.
Love it. Let's go through the ladies again here. Anybody doing any client appreciation parties or anything like that? We'll go with Tracy first.
So the last one I did do a holiday client appreciation party here at my home, and it went over very well. I had lenders to sponsor, certain parts of it. Food, had a chef to come in and prepare the food. It was really great. And I had client gifts for everybody. Everybody left with a gift.
Tracy, a plane ticket from Columbus to Atlanta is cheap. Again, can I get the date for the next one coming up? All right. Gifts and private chefs. I want to be down there. Laura, next one. How about you? You doing any client appreciation parties or anything like that?
Like I mentioned, I'm focusing right now on the smaller ones, getting small get-togethers, and sometimes it's at my house, and sometimes it's in a park with the kids or whatever. So yeah, I'm doing a variety of them, but
Beautiful.
small.
So you're doing more than just like one annual one. You're doing multiple smaller ones.
Yeah. My goal is to do one a month.
Oh wow, one a month. That's great.
I'm definitely gonna do that. It's amazing. I love that.
Very good. Laura just likes to have fun. She's just there for the party. That's what it is. She's not worried about the business.
True.
Stacey, what are you doing, Stacey?
So we do one big one a year, which is Ohio State football game. We rent out a sports bar. That's our pretty big one. That we, just so you know, that's easily a 5-figure bill, but we don't pay for any of it. We pull in our affiliate partners for sponsorships and stuff like that. Just a little hint there. And then we do community stuff all the time, especially bourbon. I do bourbon patio events and bourbon stuff that everybody gets an invite to. And I think what's important about that is it's the invite, because normally people can't come. But if you're in front of them, inviting them to something fun and inviting them to these events, it's just as good as them being able to come to the event.
If you think about that, if you're throwing a party, like you can anger someone by sending them 20 spam emails about, hey, look at my open house. Hey, look at my new listing. Hey, look at this. But if you send somebody 20 invites to a party with free booze and food, they have a hard time getting angry about that. But yet you're still in their face. Top of mind awareness again. I think that's really, I mentioned before, but it's worth repeating. I honestly believe that us raising that money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has put us on to just a record-breaking year, just blow the numbers out of the water, when technically the market's kind of pulled back a little bit, but ours is higher. And I think it's because we pounded our network probably once a day, Stacey, for 10 weeks.
A lot of people on here were getting those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? A lot of you on here might have been getting those too. On that, any questions for the three ladies? Anybody out there, like a question you want to throw out there, something you heard, or anything like that? We're getting close to wrapping up right here, and we'll be done here in a second. So I want to remind everybody. Go ahead.
I've got one for Tracy real fast.
Yeah.
On that realty store, when you said you want to be in position 1 or 2, how does that work? Is it where the first person has to take the call within so many minutes and it rolls to the second person, or how does that work?
So that, Stacey, I honestly can't tell you. I don't know for sure. And when I connect you with my person, you can definitely ask her. But yeah, I think she told me that positions 1 or 2 guarantee the most leads. I don't think that if I don't answer, because they still go straight to my email. So if I don't answer it, I don't call them, pick up the phone right then, I still have opportunity to get to that person. So I don't think it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm
Maybe
so
I'll
going to take on Laura's idea. I mean, I absolutely love the little small events. I'm going to do them at my house. You guys know that you can do the paint and sips at your house too, because you can get on Amazon and order those already traced out pictures.
Wait, what'd you call it?
Okay, the paint and sip. Have you guys have
paint and sip? No.
Yeah, out there in country Columbus, y'all don't have the paint and sip. So there's paint and sip businesses around everywhere, here anyway. And they have these little easels where you can do your paint and everything, but these are already traced out and you can order them on Amazon with the paint. And I'm going to do so many paint and sips in my house. They're going to be sick of me. For real. Like, I love that. And different ideas, candle making, body scrub making. I mean, there's so many ways to connect. So I'm so grateful for that idea, Laura. Thank you so much.
If you're sipping that paint, that might be depending on what kind of paint you're sipping, you might have some trouble.
Paint and sip means have the wine right beside you.
All right. No lead-based paint. We're not sipping lead-based paint. We might have some problems with that going on. Sorry. My realtor humor is just awful. Sorry. 1978 coming out of me.
Hey, Jim, I wanted to add Brian's question in there about hanging flyers and does it work? I would say yes, if you have consistency and if you do a farm. And don't make it too big of a farm. Pick a neighborhood that's got like 250 people in it. Make sure that you're consistent with the flyers. Like if you're doing
pick your own neighborhood.
Yeah, your own neighborhood. If you're in a neighborhood, I think Brian might be out in the country. I'm not sure. He's in Johnstown. But offer, we talked about going to local coffee shops. They'll give you, 25% off coupon or something like that. So make sure it's of value. And then I saw someone that had a great idea. I forget who it was. It was a realtor. Inside her neighborhood, she went out and invested some upfront money on like every kind of power tool you could imagine, rototiller, like everything. But she put out there that, hey, if you need to borrow something, I've got it. Come see me. Like she had every gardening tool, every lawn tool, edging. Like that was a great idea.
Another great idea, if you're going to farm a community, is you can go to a local coffee shop or whatever, something near the community there, and you can make a deal with the coffee place. Say, look, I'm gonna buy a coffee for people. I'm gonna put this out there, but just send me a bill once a week as far as how many people showed up. And then those people have to bring their card in there. And so you'll know who showed up and got their free coffee, and you know who to reach out to and try to build a relationship with because they had your information. And people will hang on to those, but the bill, they said, is never very high because people keep it and they'll have it. And, if it's a magnet or whatever, put it on their refrigerator, but a lot of times they don't even cash it in. And so you get that marketing and that, hey, they just bought me a free coffee, but they never even cashed it in. So it doesn't cost you any money, if that makes sense. So you only pay for what they use. So great stuff on that. We're going to wrap up here. Good stuff. Everybody get something out of it. Go ahead and unmute and give the ladies a round of applause for everything they did. I got the thumbs up from Brian. He's at the fire station. He doesn't want to yell too loud. Beautiful. Kim says
awesome
great
stuff. Great job.
Great stuff. So we'll be back next Monday at noon at Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have some great information for you. As you know, you can go to our website and see what the topics are and the speakers and things like that. And here's what I would tell you. Bring a friend. Bring a friend. We would love to keep growing our group. And also, if you're somebody out there who has something special that you're doing, maybe you're the social media queen, or you're the king of charities, right? And you want to come on here and teach everybody something specific to help them grow their business, is something you perfected. We'd love to hear from you. On our website, you could go there and you can suggest a topic you'd like to hear. And you can also say, hey, I'm a such and such expert on there. In fact, I know somebody we have coming up here in a couple of weeks who's going to be talking about how to budget as a realtor. How do you set yourself up on a budget so that you get your taxes paid and everything like that? You're not living paycheck to paycheck. It's really great. I've been through the training. I actually recommended him to speak to us, and we're going to have him on very soon. So we're going to have great stuff. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on. Go out there and kill it. Look, if you don't reach out to somebody today personally to talk to them, just take 120 days from now on your calendar and put a big red X through it, says I'm not getting paid that day, because you got to reach out to somebody individually if you're going to get paid. That's active lead generation. All right, everybody, have a great one. I'm going to stop the recording.